We're going to go back and install AntiX Linux. Of course, AntiX is the anti-fascist Linux, meaning it doesn't use systemd or logmd or something like that. But of course, as always, by all means, don't be bashful. Stop by the chat session and say hi. And of course, go out to your favorite search tool and search for AntiX Linux, okay, and you'll find it there. So we're going to begin by creating a new, let's see what version it is. One thing about AntiX is that the ISO is pretty small. It's only like 2 gigabytes, okay? So we're going to say 23.2. 23.2, okay? Come down here, full Linux. It is Debian 64-bit. I think it's probably Bookworm, pretty sure, okay? Proceed with, no, we're not going to proceed with it. Set up guest, no guest. That was kind of strange, wasn't it? Okay. AntiX. It's actually Debian. Let's come all the way down here to Bookworm. Virtual hardware. Let's give it 16 gigabytes of RAM and the traditional 4 of 12 processors, right? Let's see. Virtual disk space. Let's give it 50 gigabytes. Does that sound reasonable to you folks? And that's, hey, I'm in a frisky mood. Let's go ahead and pre-allocate the space, okay? And as always, don't be bashful there. Stop by this chat session and give me a few words of encouragement. And if you have experience with anti-I, be sure to tell me what's going on. But anyway, what you have to understand is Linux Mint, anti-I, Index Linux are all based on Debian. And the problem I had into today is I can install the base R system, but let's just add a little bit of vmemory, okay? 128, just give it 64 gigabytes of that. Okay, good. The problem is this: I can't install Tidyverse, which means that the R installation is basically worthless. Okay, no Tidyverse, no read R, no ggplot2, no nothing. I couldn't even install an older forecast package called Forecast or QuantMod. Let's go up here. Over here. Okay, let's go with a modern kernel, because we're all modern type of guys, right? Normal boot. Now this is a really small distribution. We should be able to install this in under 20 minutes. Okay. We should get a desktop here, and then we should get an option to install. Now I'm not really sure what the difference between AntiX and MX Linux is. Now, MX Linux would be fine for Python programming. That's not a problem. Probably C++ development, probably Python development. But if you can't install Tidyverse in R, R is basically worthless anymore. Okay. You can't even install, like I say, an older forecast package called Forecast, or an older stock package called QuantMod. If you can't install those are designed to run under base Linux. So I don't know if we're missing some libraries or there's a problem with the path. I'm not really quite sure. But we'll get here in just a moment, see what's going on. So now we're up to our desktop. Hey, again, do me a big favor today. Click that subscribe button. Click that like button for the video live stream. And also click the bell icon so you won't miss whenever I go live or up new content. And of course, hey, share the channel and the video with a friend today, all right? So let's go over here. See, one thing about about AntiX Linux that doesn't make any sense. The initial screen resolution is 800 by, what is it, 800 by 620 or so, 800 by 600. And when I set it using the display, I go out, reboot, come back in, and it's back to the 806 resolution. By default, this is saying 1280 by 800. So that's a decent size. Here's the installer. Click once. Very important. Click once. I'm going to say check media, skip. I'm not going to check the media because we know that the media is ISO. Next. Let's just. I'm feeling kind of frisky. Let's encrypt the password. And it's always with my NOD2DT. I use a strong encrypted I use a strong and complicated password for my file system. We'll now perform requested actions. Okay, start. Now we come over here and we say system time on this. Username, let's just call it the DVADJ. Again, a strong and complicated password. Administrator, let's give it a, you know what, let's don't give it an administrator account. We'll do everything by sudo. So now we wait. Let's go with our log. So if you want to get something to drink, come back in like 10 to 15 minutes. I'll be here. And again, if you're in the background, stop by the chat section and say hi. So I see 2 views, 1 concurrent viewer. So where are you 2 people who stopped by? Okay. Like I say, this should take about, I don't know. Like I say, 10 to 15, 20 minutes max to install. Because there's no, I just saw there's no install options. I mean, it can't be easier to install than this. This is easier to install and a smaller install than Linux Mint. But Linux Mint gets a lot more press. And we got 2 virtual desktops. Now I'll mention that this is the ICE WM window manager. This has been around since the late 90s and 2000s. I remember this was my favorite desktops back in the old days, you know, back in the last century, the last millennium. Yes, that's right. I was using Linux back in the at the end of the last millennium. Okay. Let's. Now the other thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to do an update. So what type of shell are we using here? It's bash. Let's do a cat. It's interesting that tmux is listed as a shell. Well, I suppose it is actually in Zesh. One of the other things we're going to install, we're going to install a couple of things, just a couple bells and whistles. We'll install Emacs, we'll install the fish shell, and then we go back and create a new, and then use the fish config to change the, we'll start by trying to change the prompt, and then we'll try to change the theme. But Emacs, we can install UV, the Python package manager written in Rust. If you saw other videos, you know that UV is just crazy fast when it comes to creating an environment. I mean, it's seconds or minutes instead of 15, 20 minutes to set up an environment. Let's take a look here. So there's our root, right? 13%. Okay. Available 81 megabytes, 81 gigabytes. Is that right? We'll see in a moment. So like I said, go get a cup of coffee, come back in like 10 minutes, okay? And of course, as reminded that it's 5 views, there should be 5 chat sessions going right now, okay? Of course, anti-Linux is proudly anti-fascist, anti-X magic, in an environment suitable for old and new computers, okay? Anti-X means it doesn't use systemd, and it doesn't use some other log program, I don't know what it was, lognd or something like that. %. As I said a minute ago, one of the things that's kind of annoying about AntiX Linux is, at least in the virtual machine, is it doesn't save the screen resolution. You go in, open up this display app, change the screen resolution, click on save this config. It looks great. You go out, you reboot, you come back in, and it's set back to 800 by 600 resolution. Now the fact that this actually says resolution up here, 1280 by 800, is encouraging, because that should be the default resolution. Auto amount enabled, CPU 30%, frequency 1498, init, disk is up, right, disk, init, 90%, we're getting really close here. Now come, I know you people are out there watching this install. Stop by the chat session and say hi. Click the subscribe button, click the like button, click the bell icon to be notified when I go live again, and also share the channel and the video with a friend, okay? Don't be bashful, stop by the chat session and say hi. %. Okay. So, just to change, we're going to install Emacs, and then we're going to install Doom Emacs, okay? Which is a sort of like evil mode on steroids. Evil mode meaning the VI mode for Emacs, okay? A little bit of herbal tea there to calm my nerves. What's this here? Window Manager. This is software installer. So now we're not going to run update today, and I'm going to use app to install the packages. It's just much easier than trying to find something inside of let me try this. It's much easier to try to find stuff inside of using a GUI app like that, okay? So I'm not going to update right now because update can take another 10, 15, 20 minutes. I don't like to have to sit there while it's updating the system, okay? Updating init RAM FS. So if I want to go to use this for Python development, but if I can't get the R to work right, then I might as well just use Slackware. Because I can run UV on Slackware. Yeah. Okay. I think I hope you're enjoying seeing this log window over here, by the way. Also, you notice down here, this is CPU usage, so this gives us some summary stats. CPU is load is 1.49, RAM free 16 gigabytes swap. Automatically reboot the system and it's no. So what we want to do is, come back over here. We're going to shut down. Then we're going to unmount the ISO image. Then we're going to boot up again, okay? There it is. Remove. Start. Now we'll see if we're cooking with gas or not. So what do we give it? 50 gigabytes of storage space? Is that what we did? By the way, have any of you looked at what's called IBIS? It's a Python front end for various databases, most notably DuckDB. It allows you to actually remember we encrypted the drive. Now I'm going into my strong encrypted password to access the drive itself. And we'll see what default screen resolution it gives us. And I don't understand why MX Linux would change that. I mean, the chances of someone having a screen resolution no more than 800 by 600 is pretty doggone slim. And you notice down here, we say if you click F1, see it's cycling through the window manager. Fluxbox, JWM, minimal JWM, Herbs, I believe I'm not sure what this actually is, but it's a Tally window manager. I'm just not sure which one it is. Luft, Herb, and I believe the prefix you see is this may have something to do with window manager. Let's come up here. Enter my strong and complicated password. So we're at 19 minutes. And again, so it kept a nice resolution, so this is good. Auto mount enabled CPU, disk. Okay. So let's come over here. What are we going to do now? Let's open a terminal. Okay. Let's do this. So it's saying we have 37 gigabytes of 37 gigabytes of space left. Let's do this. ls lsblk, and this tells us that we had size 49 gigabytes. Okay, good. Like I say, we're not going to excuse me. How can we not install Emacs? It doesn't make any sense. Let's do this. Let's try this. That's really strange. That's a surprise. Let's come down here. Let's take a look over here. Let's install a couple packages. Now normally the first thing I would do is I would run update. But again, I don't want to take 15-20 minutes of your time just to run update. Now it's really odd that it doesn't have Emacs. That makes absolutely no sense. But it has VS Code. So right now what we're doing is we're installing a couple web browsers. See, it doesn't install LibreOffice. Yeah, so it doesn't make any sense that it doesn't install. Let's go over here. My guess is it probably won't install UV either. Okay. Okay, good. And again, let's take a look here at our numbers. Okay, I see 10 views. Where are you people? Do this here. So we're not even going to pussyfoot around, okay? We're going to install this directly. We're going to install this. That way we get the. Oh, hey, Ismail! Thanks so much. We didn't care about your political view. Carry on. Okay. Which political view was that? Anyway, when you say we, who are you talking about? You mean you and the mouse in your pocket? Nonetheless, Ishmael, thanks so much for stopping by. Okay, and thanks for your comment. Okay. So anyway, it's just surprising that that Emacs isn't included. It doesn't make any sense. Even though it's not widely used, it's kind of an eccentric piece. It just makes no sense. So anyway, remember, are you talking about the anti-fascist? Well, that's what their website says. If you talk about that, that's what the website says. Okay, that's not my opinion. That's just their view of themselves. Okay. Reading package list. Now, as I was saying, is this is AntiX. I'm storing a virtual machine. Okay, Oracle virtual machine. I give 50 gigabytes of space, 4 processors, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and about 64 megabytes of video RAM. Okay. What I want you to notice is this is Debian. Okay, it's based on Debian. And of course, MX Linux is based on AntiX, so it's based on Debian. Of course, I believe Linux Mint is also based on Debian. Okay. So all I've done so far, I just installed a couple browsers. Okay. Brave and Chromium and stuff like that. So tell me, Ishmael, where are you in the world? Where do you live in the world? And be sure to click that subscribe button for me, the like button for the video, and click that bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I go live. I'm probably going to do another live stream tomorrow afternoon about this time, 4 or 5-ish, something like that. So be sure to stop back by and say hi. Successfully finished. Okay, good. Let's see, Debian backports. You're about to. Okay. Let's install Emacs, common, Emacs bin common. Let's just install that and see what happens. Install. So we're going to install Emacs, then we're going to install Doom Emacs. Doom Emacs is an extension of the evil mode. Evil mode, if you don't know, in Emacs is a VI mode for Emacs. And Doom Emacs is an extension of that. It includes all kinds of extra prepackaged packages for Emacs and stuff like that. So it's kind of fun to install and look at. Been here for 20 minutes so far. The package, yes, I do. There's a link for doing Emacs, you just go to the GitHub repository and run a script. Okay. Framework, and you actually install it into your local account. You don't install Emacs there, but you do install it into a local account. If you scroll down to here. There's our and in case you come in late, I'll mention that the default desktop system for AntiX is the ICE window manager. two desktops is very nice. This is actually a fairly old a fairly old desktop manager. I remember using this back in the late 90s, early 2000s. You know, back when it was first getting started. So tell me, my friend, are you a software developer, or like me, are you an amateur? Oh, we also want to install and enable the fish shell. Okay, all right. So it is installed Emacs Common. Now, normally when you install just a basic Emacs, there's two different binaries. There's one called the Emacs client, and one just called Emacs. Because behind the scene, you can actually run Emacs as a server, and then to connect the client to the server, and it loads very quickly that way. So, do you ever watch any videos by a guy called DistroTube DT? I'm not sure why it's generating locus files, and all I need is one. Let's see who this guy is here. Ishmael. I love. Very nice. All right, so there you are, Ishmael. Now I know who you are. Needless to say, Emacs is a fairly large install. Some would say bloated, but I personally I don't use it regularly. I just like to mess around with like new Emacs sometimes. I'll be right back, Ishmael. Give me something to drink, okay? Don't go away. Now, Ishmael, go out there and invite one of your friends to join us here today. "17 views and only one person in the chat session. What's going on here?" Let's see here. So let's come back over here now. Internet, Brave web browser. Don't know what that is. Chromium. A few other things. Package finished successfully. Okay. Backports console. What about terminal? News boat. Let's stop right there with our applications for today. Eventually I want to go back and I want to install a couple of different terminals. Okay, come back over here now. Let's do something quick. Let's install UV Package Manager. Oh, good. Everything's installed. Let's do this. Source, home, share. UV. So that works, right? Let's come back over here and let's just jump onto this. Well, the first question is, do we have? No. So it's sudo install git. All right. Okay, good. What was that? What did we just do there? Just install git. Okay. Come back over here. I was asking, all the answer no to that question. I'm not really sure what it does. So tell me, Ishmael, are you an Emacs aficionado? So what should I continue these videos with? Should I continue with AntiX, or should I go back to Linux Mint? Cloning Consult. wgrep, interesting. YA snippets, yet another snippet. solitaire mode, to-do mode, building H1 to-do mode, cloning shrink path. Okay, over here you can see quite a bit of disk activity. Also seeing quite a bit of network activity, right? And even something down here interesting. RAM, 1.2 gigabytes, 16 left, swap, disk. And if this works, I'm going to bring this session to a close. But again, click the bell icon to be notified when I go live tomorrow afternoon, sometime around 4 or 5 again. Not sure about the content yet, but I'll be sure to post a, post a schedule on YouTube for you. Git modes. So I want to actually test this before we go off the air. Before I go off the air. So that's why I'm still here. Okay, this is chugging right along here. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to leave you hanging here. I don't know how much longer this is going to take to run, but 45 minutes is more than enough session at one time. Again, if you click the bell icon, you'll be notified whenever I go live. I am planning on going live. Oh, here we are. Never mind. So it finished in 5 minutes 31 seconds. Let's come over here now. And there we are. Doomy Max is now installed. Now, again, it's about the VI body. So if I do escape, colon, now it closes it. And there you have it. Doomy Max for this evening. See you tomorrow afternoon as we continue to build up this system to a point where we can actually use it for something